Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about a watch that actually has a lot of history behind it. So this right here, I recently acquired this watch. This is the Shanghai watch. And so the history behind it is that this watch was the first completely made in China watch. So before the 1950s, China would import watch movements from other countries and then assemble them inside China. So it wasn't completely made in China. But starting around the 60s, the Chinese government wanted to make their own watches. So Shanghai Watch was the first watch company or watch factory where everything was made in China. So this is kind of what the watch represents. It kind of represents that era. And another interesting fact is that these watches were quite expensive when they were first released. I think I read online it would cost around 2 to 3 months of income just to get this watch. So a lot of high-ranking officials would have this watch, and it wouldn't be something you'd see every day, and hence why people would call this the Rolex of China. Now, thankfully, you can actually get the Rolex of China for a relatively affordable price, around $40 Canadian or $30 US, and this is via Aliexpress. Now, I can't tell you for sure if this watch is a completely genuine Shanghai watch. I'm sure some of the parts are genuine, but some of them may be aftermarket as well. But again, it's only $40, which is quite affordable. So without further ado, let's dive into the Rolex of China. All right, so we'll start off with an unboxing experience, and you can already see here that this box is pretty plain, right? We don't have any writing or any logos at the top or at the front of the watch, and even at the back of the box, we have no writing at all. So some people might not like it because it just makes it look really generic, but I'm just happy that it came shipped in a watch box because, again, it was only $40, so you can't expect that much. And once we open it here, what you'll find is the watch itself along with some safety padding, but we don't see any warranty information and we don't see any instructions. So if you are new to mechanical watches, you might want to Google search just how to use it because yeah, there's no instructions here. But again, I feel like this watch here kind of speaks for itself. You don't really need that much information. So let's talk about the dial here. You can see here, I would say that this is a vintage style watch, right? And I'm not sure which element makes it look vintage, but just as a whole, it just kind of has that old-timey look. And I'll start off by talking about the hour markers. I actually like them because they're big, clearly easy to read, with the black sides and the silver middle. It's really easy to see the time. The minute markers are also not too bad. It's a little bit hard to see sometimes, but at least it's there. The hands though, I think are kind of short. The minute hand goes up to the hour marker. Same with the seconds hand. It goes up to the hour marker, but it doesn't go up to the minute markers. So as a whole, it seems like the hands are just too small. But one thing I do like, I can zoom in here, the seconds hand, it's like a lollipop style because you have that red circle up at the top. So it just helps you read the time a little bit easier. So that's always nice to see. And then the writing, we have Shanghai, and then we have the logo, I suppose. The logo is applied silver, but the Shanghai is printed. Same at the bottom, this is all printed. Fangzhen means, or I think it means shockproof, and then 19 zuan means 19 jewels. So yeah, overall, I think this dial is pretty nice. The dial color is a flat, plain solid white. But yeah, I think I like it. There's really no complaints here. At $40, I feel like I would be okay with worse quality. So the fact that it's this high level of standard, I think it's pretty good. So let's talk about the case now. And the first thing I'm going to say is that I think the design of the case it's very retro style. Because I feel like when you go from the case to the lugs, there's like no distinction between the two. Like it kind of just goes from case down to the lugs here. So this is definitely more retro style compared to modern watches. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but that's just a small nitpick. But overall, the case, you can see that it's high polished all around the sides. So I guess that's more like a dress watch with a nice polishing. The material is actually pretty good. And to compare, I'll show you, this is an Aliexpress watch. This is $4 only. And this is also made of metal. And I believe it's also made of stainless steel, just like this watch here. But the metal here just feels way cheaper. Like it feels bad in the hands. And I'm not sure why, but this watch here, even though it's made of metal, just like this watch, it just feels worse. So I don't know if it's the quality or the grade of the stainless steel, but this just feels way better, which I really like. And when you flip to the back, we have a nice stamped. I actually don't know what that symbol means. I think that's actually just the logo up at the front. But yes, you see Shanghai. I believe this is the caliber 7120. And yeah, I mean, it's nice that there's kind of a design on the back. You know, they could have just come up with a plain backing, but it's nice that we have a little design here. You can kind of see that the lugs here, they're not nicely designed on the back. It does seem a little bit industrial. You know, it looks like a machine just quickly printed this out. You can see over there. Again, it's another small nitpick. It's not a huge deal, but you can tell that this watch was mass produced. It doesn't look like there was a whole ton of care put into it. But at $40, I think this is actually very good quality. It has a good feel when I hold the watch. So that's a really good plus. And yeah, I'm just very impressed. You can see that the crystal here has a nice domed effect. I'm not too sure what the material is. I'm guessing that it's not sapphire crystal. It's probably mineral crystal, acrylic crystal, or plexiglass crystal. So the scratch resistance probably isn't that good, but I haven't noticed any scratches so far. The only thing I've noticed is that right here at the 2 o'clock mark, there seems to be some sort of scratch or a pit, but when I rub my finger over it, I don't feel anything. So whatever that thing is there at the 2 o'clock, it's inside the crystal. So that might have just been like a manufacturing defect, but I'm not going to return this watch just for that one small flaw, because otherwise the crystal itself seems to be fine. The strap that it comes with is definitely a weak point as well. It is genuine leather, which I guess is good enough. You know, it's not fake leather, it's at least genuine leather. At least that's what they say, but it's quite stiff. So I've worn it for about a day or so, but it is extremely stiff. And the buckle is unsigned, it's pretty standard. But yeah, this strap does not feel nice. And I feel like probably after like a year or so, this strap will probably break or it's gonna deteriorate. You can see here, 19mm lugs, but we'll get to the measurements later on. But yeah, I think if you're gonna wear this watch long term, then you'll probably have to replace the strap eventually, which is a potential downside because watch straps usually cost at least $20. And in this case, that's half the cost of this watch. One thing that I was particularly impressed about was actually the crown, because I've had crowns for watches that are more expensive than this, but the crown's quite hard to turn, but this one's actually quite easy. You can see there's very little effort. There's still a little bit of resistance, which is nice to have, but otherwise it does turn pretty nice and smooth. And this watch has a mechanical movement, and it's also not automatic. So it's hand winding only. If I shake the watch, you know, you can't hear a rotor because there is no rotor. It's only hand winding. But yes, I do like that crown. You can turn it really nice and easy. And if you pull it out, you can change the time. You'll notice that the seconds hand continues to tick. So that means that this movement does not have hacking. So the seconds hand will continue to tick even when you set the time. So that is a downside. And that's why I feel like this watch, in terms of accuracy, it doesn't really matter because you won't be able to get it that accurate. But I've measured it. It's about plus 20 to plus 30 seconds per day, which isn't too bad. But again, it's not going to be the most accurate. And in terms of power reserve, I was scared to wind this up too much because I don't know what happens when you wind it up all the way. But I wound it like 20 to 25 times, about 25 times. And the power reserve I got is around 30 hours. So basically like a 1-day power reserve, which again isn't a whole lot, but thankfully there's no date window. So if you do wind it down to 0 and the time stops, all you have to do is pull out the crown and you can quickly set the time. You don't have to worry about the date wheel being wrong because there's no date wheel at all. In terms of dimensions, we have 36mm in diameter, 44mm lug to lug, about 10.5mm thick, and 19mm lugs. So here's a shot of it on my 6-inch wrist, and again, the strap is quite stiff. Like it is quite not adjusting to my wrist size, but I do think that it fits just perfectly. You know, if it was a bit smaller, it'd probably be better, but again, I have a very small wrist, so most watches aren't going to fit me that well, but this one's not too bad. And yeah, I mean, if you just look at it, like it doesn't look like a $40 watch. When I wear it, it feels like this should be worth, at least, $100, $150. I could see them selling this for $150. The only thing that's really holding it back is the fact that it's a Chinese watch. But I do like how it's original. It's not trying to copy Rolex or Seiko. It's just its own watch. So it's a very unique design. It feels really nice on the wrist. I honestly thought when I bought this watch, I was going to hate it. I was going to blow $40 just to show you guys a watch from Aliexpress. But I was actually very pleasantly surprised when I got this watch. So really, I have no complaints really. Again, the strap is stiff. The case design is retro, which I'm not a huge fan of. The hands are a bit too small. But as an overall package for $40, this is a great mechanical watch. So who should buy this watch? Well, if you're looking for an affordable mechanical watch, this is definitely a good candidate, especially if this is your first time buying a mechanical watch. Also, if you're into Chinese history or Chinese watchmaking, I think this is a really significant timepiece as well. Also, if you're looking for just a watch to experiment with, if you want to just open it up, look at the different gears and stuff, I think this is a great one to experiment with. Because even if you end up breaking it, it's only $40 and you can easily replace it. Now, of course, with such an affordable price, I really don't know how long this watch will last, but I think if it lasts at least another 2 or 3 years, I feel like it's worth it. But honestly, I can picture this lasting much, much longer than that. So anyways, that's my video on the Shanghai watch. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month, I think I'll do a giveaway for this watch because I feel like someone else can enjoy this watch even more than I did. So thank you all for watching, subscribe for more videos, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.